we go into game number 2 between these two amazing players. We got Protoss versus Zerg, and here spawning on the right side. He is yellow, he is Protoss. He's also 14 years old. And his name is...
Creator Prime B.
Nice bit of ascension there by one of our Korean commentators, and there's the nice close-up on the fingers. Creator Prime B. Very beautiful. And over here on the left side, our Zerg player. He is purple. He has an Overlord moving towards
OGS Luvsic.
You just gotta love Gasato. OGS Luvsic right here playing Zerg, guys. And looking a bit stressed. Hope we can do well, and I hope we get ourselves those Hydras that never really came into fruition. Well, Hydra drops rather, but any kind of drops are kind of cool though.
Yeah, it is really nice to see the Korean commentators do those traditional K-pop introductions. Maybe they'll be starting a band for one of the finals. They create a lot of funny videos for the Korean finals. We're trying to get some more of those for the foreign community. If you guys want them, request them on gomtv.net. Check out the forums.
Please do. I would love to see those guys that go up there and start dancing and singing, you know, just go fully to town. And also, if you want that for the North American and international community, I'd love to hear that as well. Wouldn't it be good? Like me, you, Torch, up on stage doing some K-pop, right? You love K-pop too, don't you?
I love K-pop, but I don't love male K-pop.
Oh, of course. I don't love male K-pop either.
That really shouldn't exist, but...
I guess that would be what we would create if we were to be on stage doing K-pop. Male K-pop.
But it just seems like StarCraft and K-pop just go hand in hand. The first time I did actually see any sort of K-pop was in front of a StarCraft final for StarCraft 1.
Yes, and it was one of my favorite bands too, I believe, right?
Yeah, my first was Kara, actually.
Yes, Kara, one of the greatest K-pop bands in the world.
Not so much anymore. They haven't really been doing a whole lot.
Yeah, they've been off to Japan and doing so-so, but really great music though. Love me some Honey.
So, talking about StarCraft.
Video games, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Both players are staying on one base. They're being a bit more defensive than last game. Zergling going out to scout. Nothing too out of the ordinary quite yet. Protoss player did make his wall off at the top of his ramp. Almost necessary against a Zerg player if he's trying to go for any sort of early Baneling bust or just a speedling run by with any sort of early pool. Yeah,
no super sick early pool here. We do see the gas up and mining away. We're about halfway done actually with our metabolic boost for Luvsic here. Up on the top right, we have Luvsic's one Overlord scouting on his way, scouting on by. But yeah, we do have a pretty generalized wall off here. Cybernetics Core has that one Zealot, and one Zergling does move on up and sees standard.
And because this is a two-player map, you know exactly where your opponent is. You don't need to send your Overlord to his base immediately. So what you can do is you can position it in a place where you're going to get scouting for later on. We saw Luvsic actually send his Overlord near the expansion, so now it's in the upper right part of the map. You can use it to check the expansion later, or just suicide it in like we saw last game to check what sort of tech pattern he's going. Yeah, so as a Zerg player on these two-player maps, you're pretty much guaranteed 100% to hit your opponent with that first Overlord, unless you're really, really, really bad. Pretty much 100%? Yeah, you know, there's some guys, you know, they're like, oh, I accidentally clicked here on the left side, or my Overlord, you know what, I think he looks better next to my Geyser. But yeah, not in the leagues we play in Torch. Yeah. Which is gold, yeah. Not Masters, really. So. Masters, yeah. Although I haven't been playing as much as I really should have lately. Oh my god, the Korean ladder's intense, man. I've never had so many Zerglings dance my base in my life. So we do have Hallucination coming out here once again. This does allow the Protoss player to get those scouting fake Phoenixes, or you can actually use it to fake the tech pattern of the army that you're going. You can get out some Immortals or some Colossi to make them think you're getting a robotics facility, and really you're either going for DTs or you're trying to get just a lot of gateway units to go for expansion like we see here. Looking at number of units killed, still 0-0. That one Zergling was the one we saw much earlier before with that 6 HP. But yeah, back into the Zerg base. Let's see what's going on here. We see a Roach Warren on his way up, and there's all those sentries yet again from Creator. Looking nice. We'll see if he will warp in a ton here. And that Zergling getting glitched out temporarily, but now he's going to run away and continue on his scouting pattern. He was getting a little lazy and hiding, so he didn't have to do any work, but his mom called him back, so he's going to have to do more. Yeah, the Queen just calling him up on his cell. Yo, Zergling, you gotta be over here, honey. Anyway, Phoenix coming in right now. Gonna be doing some good scouting, and looks like Overlord from the south will be able to come into the main. Zergling's moving on by the Phoenix. Looks like, yeah, Luvsic can just assume that's another Hulu Phoenix. Yep, the hallucinated Phoenix is coming in here. Not gonna do any damage. A hallucinix, if you will. Ooh, I like that. There we go. Moving on by. I always wanted to set up with our GSL. Please spread it out, other casters. Here we go. Phoenix moving on by.
So another Phoenix, also 2 more actually being warped in.
Yeah, he wants to know exactly when this third base is going down, which it is going down right now. I'm not sure if the Protoss player does have vision of it. He does not yet, but that Phoenix is headed straight for it. As soon as he sees that, it might trigger him to expand himself or start to set up for some sort of timing push.
And Creator just moved on by that third base and about to glance on some roaches. I see stepping in front of a queen here, saying, "What's up? I'm hallucinated. If you kill me, I don't care." But also, I wonder, do you think hallucinated Phoenix have souls?
I think they do, and I think they feel pain too.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, anyway, hallucinated Phoenix, whatever. It's not real. Or rather, you can't do damage, so therefore you're not real.
They're kind of like gingers.
Kind of like... I thought I misheard you, but I'm just going to go with that. Anyway, here we go with a couple of Zerglies moving on by. So, creep spread slowly moving on up. Single creep tumor here, just flowing on up.
And I really like this little Zergling pack running around on the left side of the expansion from the Protoss. What it does is it forces the Protoss army to stay in his base. If you move it out, then the Zerglings can run by. And by keeping the army in the base, that makes sure that a probe can't leave the expansion, can't go for a third. So the Zerg knows exactly what the Protoss is doing right now as far as the economy is concerned.
Really love these question mark towers, also known as Zelnaga watchtowers, that have been modified. Just right there in the middle, just looking all blue. You always want to get something over there to make that red go away. Ooh, you just don't like looking at that red. Anyway, we're seeing Blink right now being researched. Another Zergling moving on into that second base, getting a bit more intel. Don't know how much more, if any at all.
And the Suicide Overlord is going to come in, try to see some of the tech, but 2 Stalkers did get warped in. They're going to be able to take it down quite easily. Didn't get to see the Twilight Council. That's very unfortunate for the Zerg player.
Yeah, but we will see though if we can't just assume that he's going to go with that similar to the previous game. Anyway, we are going to see 9 more roaches in production, so big explosion roaches any second now. And also, roach speed is on its way. Galil reconstruction, or Galil, or whatever have you.
Galil. Galil's a game in Counter-Strike, or a gun in Counter-Strike.
Oh, the Galil. Isn't that the one you can set to burst fire?
I think so. Yeah.
Nice. I used to love using those. It's like one of my first weapons when I get enough money. It was that or the Deagle. And like rolling and Deagle headshotting everyone.
And these Zerglings are going to try to run in here and headshot some of these probes, but they are not ranged, so they can't do any sort of headshot. They're going to need to take down these pylons that were nicely set up to defend.
Oh, and he breaks through.
But he does break in, and he is going to be able to take down a lot of these probes right now. However, the army of the Protoss player is positioning to be able to take down the third of the Zerg player.
Attack going on into the third base right now for Luvsic. Luvsic getting denied right now with so many force fields. A good blink back, and he will be able to do some heavy damage. Let's take a look at it.
That is a lot of roaches there. He is going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Protoss army if he can get his entire army in, but these force fields are forcing a lot of the roaches to stay back. But as soon as those force fields run away, those sentries are left to die because they are no longer useful, and the Stalkers blink away and run away. This forward pylon being taken down, the Zerg player does regain control, but he did not lose his expansion. Excuse me, guys. And he is going to be able to move in with these very fast roaches. That is a pretty large Stalker army, but these roaches do a ton of damage to Stalkers and are able to force them back. Oh, a few Stalkers going the wrong way. He's going to lose a lot of these. This is huge for the game.
Stalkers, no! Yeah, they just get taken out. No upgrades at all on any of these Stalkers other than that blink ability.
Some of those roaches were very, very happy. They got a few extra kills and wanted to run in and get a bit more, but really they needed to back off and group up with the rest of their army.
Roaches yet again moving with a +1 attack here, and we'll be able to do heavy damage. It's really up to Creator's own Blink Micro here to see how well he can survive if it's even possible. There we go with a beautiful concave right now as he moves slowly, and one by one, each Stalker falls. Beautiful stuff right now.
A few Zealots trying to be warped in, but it's really not going to be enough in this situation. All the Stalkers go down, and that is going to be GG.
It is GG. Beautiful stuff there. And yeah, I like to see Zerg moving with so many roaches. Oh, look at that. Luvsic there. So intense. Just feeling it right now.
Definitely looking very relieved in that situation.
Another game in front of me.
It would have been interesting to see how that battle turned out if those 6 Stalkers didn't get caught off in the open and they ran away, or they blinked away and they immediately ran back into the Roach army for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Those guys just, for some reason, went the other direction. And it just went the other way, and man, those guys just got taken out. They were just owned.
Yeah, 6 extra Stalkers in a situation like that can really, really change the tide of a battle.
6 Stalkers,
in StarCraft, if you have an army that's slightly ahead, you win by a lot more than you really should. So if you have like 12 roaches against 10 roaches, you're going to win with more than just 2 left over. It's really the opposite of diminishing returns. I don't know the term for that right now.
In diminishing anti-returns? Yeah.
Increasing returns. But the more you have over your opponent, the more decisively you're going to win the battle. So losing those 6 Stalkers was really, really key. I'm not sure if he would have been able to win anyway, but it would have definitely changed the tide of the battle a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe that's why Luvsic had that face on him too. Maybe not just because he was waiting for the next game, but rather he knew that I kind of want you to.
I got to
There's
gift
a bit
that
of
game.
luck there, yeah. A little bit more favorable than it kind of felt like it should have been, I guess. Might have been going through his mind, maybe. I don't know, I'm not psychic, nor am I Korean. I'm Filipino, actually. But yeah, here we go. Countdown's beginning. But you know, the Korean commentators, they're going to be talking for a bit.
So our next map is Xel'Naga Caverns. This is a map that both of these players have a lot of experience on. It is one of the maps from the qualifier, so they really, really focus on it until they get to Code A, and then they branch out to the rest of the maps. But because they have so much experience on it, there's a lot of strategies that have been developed. There's a lot of really, really refined strategies on these maps.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful map, too. We've had it for so long, too. Video games! And here we go, guys.